here in the center, where the optic nerve or optic thalamus cross each other like this, in the center is a very subtle point, which moves both the sides like this and like that. And it creates two sounds, hum, ksham, hum, ksham, hum, ksham. Hum is on the right hand side where you have seen. The superego is there. And ksham is on the left hand side where the ego is. Now these two sounds create two kinds of vibrations. The hum sound creates the vibrations which make you think I am, I am. Hum, I am. This comes from our existence power that we know we have to live in this world. We are not going to die. Any human being who tries to kill himself is abnormal. Normally, every human being, every animal or any living thing tries to retain its life. That is through this power of hum, that I am. Now the superego on the left hand side and the ego on the right hand side is ksham. But now I'll tell you about the right hand side, superego. In this superego, when you are conditioned by so many things, then you are frightened and you are worried, because these experiences make you that type of a person which has fear in the mind. And this fear is all settled in your superego. This starts from your amoeba stage, you can say, and is still today is being stored there. You are afraid of police, you are afraid of that, you are afraid of this. Some people are not afraid of these things but are afraid of something else, because whatever have been your conditions, whatever have been your experiences are all put down here. Moreover, say somebody reads the book of Dracula. Now he is afraid of the word Dracula. But the children who do not read, they do not know what is a Dracula is. If you say Dracula has come, they said, all right, let's have a look at him. But those children have read about Dracula, they are literally frightened and they say, oh God, Dracula is coming, something terrible is going to happen. So you see, whatever you have read, whatever you have gone through, whatever experiences you have had, all is in the superego. So this superego, in that, this center sends message, I am, you are, hum, hum, don't be afraid, you are. So the people who come to me, you have seen some people who come to me are victims of superego conditioning. And these are the people, actually at this stage only you can really discriminate between the two types. One who are very aggressive, the other who are absolutely, we should say, subordinated, frightened. These people, when they come to me, I have seen they go on crying and weeping, mother, this has happened, that has happened, and I really get tired talking to them. And there are so many of this kind that really you have to pay attention to them as Sahajogis, because you will have to deal with them, how to manage them and how to work it out. Now at that time, if a Sahajogi says, now you go on saying hum, 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 hum. A Sahajogi, if he says, then the vibrations will drive out his fear. Even if you are under any fear and you're walking around and you feel that there's frightened, you just say hum, hum, hum. Now, with this saying, the vibrations will clear out this side very nicely. Apart from that, that is the way you can get help from the divine, by saying hum. Now there are many things about hum and ksham, but as the time is, so I do not want to go into great details about it, but I would say the mantra for the right hand side is hum, and for the left hand side is ksham. The right hand side is the ego, which is real problem, you understand that, is a real colossal one, you have to face them. I mean, I say anything small here and there, I find the whole thing coming up onto my head like that. So what is the solution for a colossal ego? Colossal ego can only be conquered by forgiving others. Those who have ego must learn, if they feel hurt, they must say forgive. Then another person hurts them, say forgive. And not only forgive, but ask for forgiveness. Both things should be done, more asking for forgiveness. You have to ask for forgiveness if you have too much of ego. It is very important, because if you have too much of ego, means what? That you have pampered it too much. That means you have used it too much. You have dominated people, and that's why you have such a lot of ego. If you have such a lot of ego, you must all the time try to humble down in your heart. Now, in the heart resides the spirit. The ego, too much of ego in a person, always takes you away from that spirit. That's why it is said, humble down in your heart. The reason is, in the heart resides that part of yours which gets completely obliterated or forgotten once you start pumping up your ego. But ego has its limits. It ends up into stupidity and foolishness. You take any person who is egoistical and who is blowing his own trumpet, you will immediately know, because he'll be stupid. Without understanding what he's doing, he'll be doing such stupid things that you will start wondering, especially children, what's the matter with this fellow? Seems quite funny. And when the stupidity, you see, faces the person, then he sees for himself, oh God, how did I become so stupid? The stupidity comes to you because you forget the existence of God and your relationship with the whole. You think I am on my own. Why should I not do this? What is wrong in this? What is wrong in that? I should do these things. I mean, in this country, the way people are fighting for things, I mean, you must. Anybody, I mean, those so-called developing countries can't understand what's kind of a thing happening to these people, because the other day my son-in-law was reading an article that people are demanding now that a son-in-law should be allowed to marry the mother-in-law. And he just couldn't understand how can people gather together and ask for such an absurd thing like that. She is your mother. How can you say that way? I mean, it's something, an impossibility for people, normal people, to think like that a son-in-law can marry the mother-in-law. And what is there to make a law about it and to talk about it? It's a very difficult thing. All kinds of stupid things we are doing in this country, which really makes everybody roar with laughter, is because of our Mr. Ego companionship. It is not easy to understand how he befools us. It goes on befooling us all the time, and then we think, what's wrong? An 80-year-old man running after a 20-year-old girl, and the 20-year-old girl befooling this 80-year-old man, supposed to be a statesman, they start, and his statue is erected somewhere there. How is it possible? It is only the ego makes you do all these nonsensical and stupid things. Once you are in Sahaja Yoga, you don't know how to control your laughter sometimes, the way people are foolish, extremely foolish. And this is what it is. It ends up in stupidity, absolute stupidity. I mean, even if you have want to write a novel, you won't get such beautiful characters as you could around you when you listen to them, and you're shocked, oh God, what's this going on? And very embarrassing too, extremely embarrassing. They become so foolish with their ego that one cannot understand how thinking man, because by thinking you get your ego, becomes foolish. There is no wisdom in a person whose ego is completely developed like that. If somebody has an ego like that, there is no wisdom in him. You can see that he does not know what is wisdom. He behaves in such an immature way. He may be an elderly man, great-grandfather of somebody, but as soon as he opens his mouth, you are shocked at him. You think, from where this joker has come? The maturity is completely lacking.